Like if people tell you that, oh, the views don't matter, either they're lying or they're just stupid. Like views do matter. Like I have a short film that I worked on that has like almost like 500,000 views, and like hundreds of thousands of people have seen it. That is freaking amazing. Like that gives you like all the energy and power to say, I'm going to find good stories and I'm going to make them because they're going to inspire people to be better.
Hi, and welcome to Stacks Over Tax. Today, Mark and I have our really amazing client with us, Axel, and he's going to share some brilliant wisdom from his world. And we're always really inspired by all of our clients, but we have definitely some favorites, and Axel is by far one of our favorites. He's just up to all kinds of brilliant, beautiful things on the planet, and he has amazing, amazing vision about his life and his family's life, and we love supporting him and hearing how it is that we can help him get where he's going, especially when it comes to his finances and wealth. So take it away, Axel.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really excited that we get to do this. Honestly, like I've learned a lot from working with you guys because, you know, in my case, I'm an immigrant. I came to America from a third world country, and I came from Cuba, which is a communist country, and we had nothing in terms of like corporate structure or companies or any of that. So for me, it was completely new. And working with you guys have been super interesting because I've been able to get educated. And I think a lot of people are just afraid of doing anything in that realm just because we don't have the education. We don't know how those things work, especially with like taxes and like all of that. I was always really afraid. And now I feel like I've always been a risk taker. And now I feel like I can take even more risks because I know that I'm protected and I know the things and I know the game basically. So that has been super interesting in the last year that we have been in touch. So I'm excited to be here and talk to people about all the things that we could do to protect ourselves and to make more money and to just to take advantage of all the good things that we have in America.
One of the things that Axel did recently that I thought was fascinating is that he wrote a creed for himself. And I think a lot of times people don't spend some time and evaluate what their terms are as a person, what their vision is, where they're going, even where they are. Sometimes I think they kind of are a little delusional about where they actually are. And so, yeah, Axel, I can't wait to hear some more about your creed and how you came up with it and what that's about.
Yeah, to be honest, it's something that I've been looking at and thinking about for a long time. I used to have I keep this note that I've had on my phone for like over a decade, where every year I just write down, you know, what's my intention for this year? What are the things that I want to accomplish? And it's something that I look at every couple of weeks. And throughout that time, I have been keeping like short phrases and quotes of things that I identify with. So the other day I was going through it and I had all of them. It usually happens when something is wrong. I think when things are terrible in your life in one way or another, it could be like financial, relationship, your career. When you're going through that moment, at least for me, it helps to sit down and just look at my notes, the plans that I'm making for my life. Why am I doing all of this? Like, why am I going to decide to do a business or walk out of a business, to go into a project or walk out of that project? So I was just looking at those notes and I was like, I need to formalize this and make it into a creed, something that I can like solidify and always go back to that and use that as a reference.
What can you tell us what your creed is?
Yes, so it's pretty simple. So number one, I live at a high level. So my whole life, I aspire to live at a high level. Then I protect my circle. I dominate the competition. I rise from every fall, and I'm sharper than an axe. So all of those things start for me, like internally, who I am, how do I want to live out in the world. Then I go into like my people, those people close around me, who are part of my circle. I will protect them. then I'm going to dominate the competition. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win at life or a business or anything. And you're going to run into hard things, so you have to make yourself almost immune to anything wrong that will happen to you. And just by saying, I will rise from every fall, like I know that I can get back up. And I've done it in my life. I mean, it's been a fun journey this last decade since I came to America. And then I'm going to cut through the noise, and I'm going to be sharper than an axe. So anything that I do, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be sharp. And I think having something like that inspires you to like push you when you don't want to do something, or when things are hard, or even when things are good. So why things are good in your life is because you have laid out this path for your life, and now you're executing on it.
Yeah, so many people in business that we work with have very weak business plans, and they're kind of like, well, I have this skill and I'm going to do something with it and I'm sure I'll make money. I mean, that's good. It's better than working at a 9-to-5 job in a sweatshop somewhere. But what we rarely see is people who are entrepreneurs or business owners who have a personal mission statement or a creed, like what you're saying. And even just the last one, I'm going to be sharper than an axe, is really powerful if for some reason, for whatever circumstance, you're given the opportunity to kind of go along like a sheep, or to not bring the truth of what you're creative, because you're a filmmaker and you're a creative and you're a business owner. So, I mean, we want to talk about that too, but for you to go, well, maybe I don't, maybe in this particular scene, the truth isn't that important because I want to try to make people happy, or I want to be a people pleaser or whatever. And it says, well, no, my creed is that I'm going to be sharper than an axe and I take what I get. That's pretty powerful. How does that show up? Have you run into circumstances where you've had to make those kinds of decisions?
Yeah. So recently I was dealing with something in business where I had a relationship with a client, and then I was forming a relationship with another client, and there was some tension, and some of the decisions that I made were not great, and I wasn't happy with the situation. And also when I thought about, okay, who do I want to be? Something that I struggle with, because I'm a creative person, is I have hundreds of ideas. Sometimes I will talk to Sterling and we talk about an idea, and then I'm always thinking of like the 5 things that could turn into. I personally struggle with focus because I have such an imaginative brain. Ideas come to me so easily. And I needed for myself to have some sort of clear direction that I'm not going to go into this opportunity or that opportunity, because that's not who I am. And what I really want is, I want to make the biggest movies in the world. So I can't be running after every opportunity that presents itself in business, or even with projects and creative ideas and YouTube channel and podcasts, and like doing an academy. And like I could do 10 different things, but as we all know, if you're not sharp in the one thing that you're trying to get good at, you're going to be mediocre in like 5 different things, and you're never going to win. And I've also seen how sometimes we get sidetracked and we think, okay, if I really want to make movies, I need money. And then to make money, I'm going to go and work doing this thing on the side that could make me a lot of money, but it's not really the thing that I want to do. So I get distracted over here, and because I'm learning something new. For example, whenever we were doing the classes with you guys, and you guys were talking about trading and crypto and all of that, whenever that came to the scene, I got super excited about that, and I tried to learn it, and I spent time doing it. But then I realized, I don't want to take the time to learn that to be actually really, really good at that. And therefore, I'm not going to get the results. I'm just not. Like when you compare me to another person who's actually enjoying that and they love doing that. So I can't do that right now. So maybe like in a couple of years, maybe when I have other things in my life, because we also go through phases. And sometimes we want to do everything all at once. And we have to remember, okay, you need different steps. And once those steps are in place, you know the vision where you're going. Maybe I could do trading in stocks after my production company is doing a certain amount of money, so I can easily put $5,000-$10,000 every month into some sort of systematized way to do the investing. But right now, like, I'm hustling, I'm trying to get money for a movie. Like, I can't use my energy that I really want to use for that into something that I'm just new at, and that I'm not, that's not going to change my life purpose if I'm able to do some other thing on the side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you're actually bringing up a really important point. And as great as investing, and we always are talking about to small business owners, hey, you probably need to have some kind of a passive income idea, and regardless of how great your business is and how much you can turn it over, your cash over, and return on investment, that's great. But the best way, really, to make money is to invest in. We first say yourself, but then your business. Reinvest in your business if it's good. But where people go really wrong is they don't have a good business in which to invest. So they take all the capital that they could have put into, I'm making it up, Apple stock, and then said, oh, we're going to put it in this business that's kind of broken. But what you're saying, what I'm hearing is even more fundamental is, yeah, if you want to invest in yourself, that's great. But if you don't have a clear plan, a clear focus, and in your case, a creed, a mission where you're like, I know where I'm going, and in that I will invest for better returns instead of all this other cool stuff over here that I could do. Nothing wrong with that. But if you really are like, I know where I'm going, then that's a good investment in yourself. But if you don't, then man, put it into Apple or put it into crypto, because that's going to do better than you're going, I just want to do everything. No, this is not the way. So my question to you is, in your creed, because look, I'm a recovering filmmaker from many years ago, and I totally get, I just want, everything's great. I have fun doing it all. What part of your creed keeps you focused on where you're going?
I think the high level part. For me, high level, when I started doing my podcast back in like 2017, I was still in college, and I came from Cuba. And what I realized coming to America was the world was so much bigger than what I had always known. I always had, since I was a kid, that desire to be significant. And the way that I have accomplished that has brought me the most like fulfillment is whenever I made a film or a music video or something, and I would see how people would react to it, like that is addictive to me. So that part, like, it brings so much fulfillment that it makes the pain of like going through making a project worth it. But also, like, when I'm creating the thing and like my brain is firing, like that is it's like the most exciting that I have ever felt. So chasing that feeling is like, okay, now I want to do that, but I want to do it at the highest level. I don't want to be a starving artist that is just with one camera doing one little thing. I've been able to work on really big projects for different studios and worked in LA and in TV shows and movies and all that. And just being able to see that scale of performance, of just creating something that is at the top of the top in the whole world, and to know that that's possible, then I need to reshape my thinking and remember, okay, whatever it is that you're going to do, you have to do it at the highest level. If I'm going to work in this other thing on the side, if I'm not going to do it at the highest level because I respect that craft, then I should not even mess with it. Everything in life is really difficult to do. And I think on social media, people are always telling you, yeah, you can do it. You just have to like dream big and do it. That's that's very nice for like week one. But after you do something for 5 years and you understand the craft of that, then you realize, okay, this requires a whole lifetime of obsession to be able to play at the highest level there. So the only thing that I would actually give myself to is that love and passion for filmmaking and telling stories. So then, because I want to do it at the highest level, it requires the sacrifice that I say no to everything else that is not that. And that is very difficult for me because I'm interested in so many things. My curiosity is always like there. And I'm actually good at multiple things because, to be a filmmaker, you're mixing like business, entrepreneurship, creative, team building, leadership, like being skilled with tech and
Conflict
technology.
management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of skills that actually, like, I'm a pretty proficient person in multiple disciplines, but then I need to remind myself that, hey, you want to do this at the highest level, so you cannot be messing around with all these other things. And it's like a constant struggle, like every other week. And that's why I formalize the creed and I put it on my phone and I put it on my computer and I put it everywhere and I share it with people so you guys can also keep me accountable. Because if it was up to me, I would go like try all these different things, but it's not good. Like I need to focus and I need to choose the one thing that is actually bringing fulfillment to my life, and then do it hard enough and big enough so I can make a bunch of money. And then once I have all the money in the world, then I can go and try with all the other things and empower other people that are really good at that to just partner up with them and be a little part in what they're going to do, the same way that I think about my films and storytelling.
So you said some really cool things in there, a lot of cool things. And when you were saying what part of your creed helps you really stay focused when you want to do all these things, you said, live at a high level. And you just spent a lot of time explaining, hey, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it as high and as the highest proficiency as I possibly can. But you glossed over something that I think is really important, especially in making media. And that is, once you get done and the pain, you said, the pain of it. There's so much pain in making media. People have hey, let's make a movie. It'll be fun. You have no idea what you're talking about. But when you see it on the big screen, when you see 1 million views on your YouTube channel, that is what for me was like, that makes all the pain worth it. And I'm going to do another one and focus on that. How much does that factor in? Because you're obviously very disciplined and you've made a creed. But how much of that, I want to get to that beautiful, juicy feeling more than anything. How much does that factor in?
Like if people tell you that, the views don't matter, either they're lying or they're just stupid. Like views do matter. Like I have a short film that I worked on that has like almost like 500,000 views, and it's about domestic violence. And I have literally thousands of comments of people saying that the film touched them, that make them remember like things that they lived through, that they hope that a next person that suffers through that can make it out alive. And there is like actual human beings that watch that story. And it's a fake story. It's a script. It never happened. It was inspired by some personal experiences from the writer, but it's something that we created out of nothing. Like we filmed for 4 days, we edited, and now it's a piece of a story that connects with humans, and like hundreds of thousands of people have seen it. That is freaking amazing. Like that gives you like all the energy and power to say, I'm going to find good stories and I'm going to make them because they're going to inspire people to be better. They're going to inspire people to be different, to make different decisions. And like, even for me, like, I think the reason I love filmmaking so much is like when I was a kid, I would watch these movies and I needed to escape the reality of living in such a hard place. And Hollywood and films did that for me. So if I could make that for someone else, that's going to be amazing. That would actually impact their lives. And then the fun thing is that you can actually make a lot of money if you're able to make movies at a big scale. And I know it's very difficult. It's not easy by any means, but I'd rather live my life knowing that I went after what I really wanted than just conform and get a job and do something in corporate and just like be okay. Like that would be I would be disappointed in myself if I went down that path.
Thank you so much, Axel, for being here with us. I mean, you're not only a client, but you're a friend of ours. And it's been an honor to have you bring a perspective, not only as a filmmaker, not only as an entrepreneur, but also as a successful immigrant from a communist nation to say, hey, here's what's real and here's what's not. So thank you so much for your time. And we're looking forward to seeing you back here again on Stacks Over Tax.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun.